Hey everyone, how's it going? This is Kyle from the TF Review, and I got my phone in my hand. And today we're going to be taking a look at the Power Rangers in Space Mega Voyager for this edition of Megazord Mondays. Now this is one of the most unique Megazords, I think, during the Zordon era. It's certainly one of the most unique Megazords from Power Rangers in Space, and in Space had a lot of unique Megazords. Now this was the final Megazord that the Rangers received during that season, and it was really the only actual true Megazord style combiner for that series. The other ones were either kind of parts formery, or the Astro Megazord was a lot like a Transformer in that it had one ship and one robot mode, and that was it. But this, we have multiple individual vehicles, as you can see, and as I reset them up for your viewing pleasure. And here we have Mega V1, Mega V2, Mega V3, Mega V4, and Mega V5. For some reason in the Power Ranger series, they didn't actually give them names, which was a little bit weird. But in Super Sentai, they did in fact give them names that identify exactly what they are, because some of them are kind of like, huh? This is the Voyager, which kind of leans towards Rover, I guess you can say. This is the Shuttle Voyager, which obviously, you know, it's a shuttle. This is the Rocket Voyager, and I'll give you a better look at it a little bit later. Yes, it is very tall and very phallic, for lack of a better word. And this is the Tank Voyager. Again, not a lot of people really know what this is, but I guess it's sort of a sci-fi tank, you can say. And I absolutely love these vehicle modes because they're very, I guess you can say they're very Thunderbirdsy, and that they're more exploration type vehicles than they are really militaristic or racy or animals that happen to be robots. So I really like this Megazord just for that reason. And I'm perfectly fine keeping them in their vehicle modes for that reason. So now I'm going to go ahead, we're going to take a look at each vehicle, starting with Mega V1, which is fine because I've got a lot to say about Mega V1. And here we have Mega V1, aka Voyager. And this is, God, where do I begin with this guy? He is designed to look like an astronaut, and he does a really good job looking at that. You can see he's got a huge backpack with some chrome details, some stickers, Mega V1, and he looks overall great. I apologize, the sticker is a little bit worn right there, but this is an old toy. His arms can move back. They do have an elbow bend, which is really nice, and that's about it for the articulation. Now this is probably one of the most flawed Zords in Power Rangers history, because of the fact that it breaks very, 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 very easily. And the reason being that this whole piece is molded, this whole chest piece coming down all the way to the knees is molded in translucent red plastic for no reason whatsoever. And if you're familiar with toys, you know that translucent plastic is very, very fragile and gets even more brittle over time. Now, just taking a look right there, you can see this piece has broken at least 3 different times as long as I've been owning it, and it broke again tonight, so I had to re-glue it before filming this review. And that's because the entire Megazord basically sits right here. So when you're pulling it, it's pulling on this top part, and it's just going to rip it in half, and that's what's been happening. So I'm really hesitant to get him into Megazord mode because of that reason, and that's really, really disappointing. Apart from that, that's basically all there is to say about Mega V1. We'll see him very soon as we get into Megazord mode. Cross your fingers. Next up, we have Mega V2. And I really like Mega V2. He's very, very simple. He doesn't serve a huge purpose in the greater scheme of things, with the exception of the head. He does form the headpiece, and I guess that is pretty big. But he also forms the shield. He doesn't have any wheels, or he doesn't roll or anything, but he does have indents down here at the bottom. And he can just kind of do that, and he looks really nice. Very futuristic, very space shuttle-y, and I really dig it. And that's really all there is to say about him. Next up is Mega V3, and we can see he's a big boy. Oh yeah, he's definitely a big boy. And he also has a lot of play functions, which is another reason why I really like him. And I love that I've automatically given him a male personification, which is just awkward and weird. Now, he does have a lot of playability features in that down here there are panels that you can just fold out, and these will reveal treads. And there's another one right up here. And those just reveal treads for when you want to go mobile. And it doesn't have any wheels on the bottom. It would have been nice if they kind of molded wheels down there, or at least put in some spinning wheels. That would have made the tread feature just so much better, and made it roll. And that's because other vehicles can store on it and kind of ride on him. This one, which is the shuttle, Mega V2, it actually literally pegs into the top, and now it is a legitimate, like, sweet-looking rocket ship, full-on rocket ship. This is the engine, and of course this is the shuttle. And that's one really cool feature. Another thing you can do is, you'll notice there's these 4 little indents, or little molded pieces up here. And I didn't know what that was for at first, but I did later find out that Mega V1 can actually ride on the top of it. You just have to find the footing all right. And there we go. And exactly like the show, Mega V1 can ride on it. And that's really cool. It doesn't peg, so, you know, you do have to be careful. It might fall, and if it falls, it'll probably break. But for display purposes, that's wonderful. I love that he can ride that. And I instantly got dirty thoughts when I thought of that. I apologize. Next up is Mega V4, which is more or less a kind of UFO-looking spaceship. And I love the retro-looking boosters. This also forms the chest piece. And overall, I think it's a fine Zord. It will form the arms, which is really cool, and I really like this because it's got a very unique transformation. Again, it's got a whole lot of detail on the top, not a lot on the bottom. It's got molded wheels, but not actual rolling wheels, so again, you're just going to have to plop it down like that. Last but not least, we have Mega V5, and Mega V5 is like, it's supposed to be a tank, but it's on sleds for whatever reason. I don't know, maybe it's only effective when it's going down a hill. That's kind of odd, and not very spacey, honestly, other than the fact that it does kind of have a futuristic look. I mean, if you wanted to, you could pretend it's also a UFO, fold the treads up, and just kind of but that's basically it for this. There's not a lot of playability, or whooshability, or fun factor, and that is a thing. So that does it for this look at each Zord. Now I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to show you how to transform it into Megazord mode, and this is where I'm getting a little nervous. So, thank you guys so much for watching up to this point. Let's start the transformation, and the transformation starts with this, because this forms the bottom of the feet. So we can just fold the sleds back, and then split the feet apart, and then now what we can do, fold those guns down, fold the guns down, and they reveal these ports. And these are the bottom feet of the Megazord. Next up is Mega V3, and Mega V3 forms the upper and the mid sections of the Megazord. So you really want to just take this Megazord apart into 4 pieces, literally. It's quite a parts former, and this we can actually put to the side for now. We also want to turn the treads back around, because we do not need those anymore. And these legs just peg onto the top like this. And that's basically it. Now this is where things get a little janky, and this is where I get nervous and I want to start crying. And that now leads us to Mega V1, or Voyager, whatever it's called in Japan. And this is where I'm getting a little bit nervous, to be completely honest with you. Now there is an order of operation as to how to transform this. So you do want to start with the backpack, and you just want to open his chest. Well, you can fold his arms out, and you want to open his chest, and this will actually give us a better look at just how many repairs I've had to make on this guy. Right now it's sturdy. I just usually fix it with super glue, and that seems to do the trick. But even that, it's janky, and you know, I get really nervous. We can see all of the breaks and all of the super glue fixes. We also get a good look at his head sculpt. He does have kind of a nice head sculpt. That's kind of cool. Anyway, to transform him, it's a lot like the Shogun Megazord, the red Shogun Megazord to be exactly. You just want to fold his arms in. But then there is an added step, so you want to fold his little wing packs down. And then now it just collapses in place. Make sure everything collapses. Last but not least, and this is another part that makes me very nervous. I haven't had any issues, but it's still sketchy because these gray pieces are also molded in the clear red plastic. so they can break when you're putting excess force on them, and that does make me a little bit nervous. But you just want to take it and fold it around. Just like that. And now what we want to do is we want to take it, and you'll notice there's these little grooves. We flip them around, and we actually plug them into the legs backwards, like that. And we do want to be careful, because sometimes his legs do want to close, so just make sure you spread his legs nice and good. Yeah, I just said that. What are you going to do? And then now we come to this piece. And this piece, of course, also makes me very, very nervous, because you'll notice there's these little tabs. They're not even tabs, they're just like little joints. And as innocent as they look, are what cause all of the damage of this part, of ripping it in half, basically. So I'm thinking about just filing it down, so all I need to do is literally just slip it on, and I wouldn't even have to worry about that anymore. So, for the sake of the review, I'm going to go ahead and just put it on. You want to make sure the screw holes are facing towards the back, and you just take this, and that just pegs in right there. And that makes me very nervous. I think when I pull this piece back up, it's going to rip it in shreds again. And I might get that on camera, because that might be kind of cool. If I'm going to destroy it, I'm going to destroy it on camera, alright? Next up, we've got this guy, Mega V4. And his transformation is a lot of fun. You just want to take this wing part, and for some reason, the arms are locked in place until you actually pull them out, like that. And that's kind of a neat little thing. Then you want to turn them around and make sure the chest piece is facing forward, and this just slips on like this. Now it is, there we go, just like that. And then there's these little tabs down here, and his fists just pop out like that. And we're almost done. Lastly, we're going to take Mega V2, and the head just gets pulled out of the back like that. We can put that to the side for now, and this just pegs on top. And that is it for the core Megazord Mega Voyager. I love the look of this toy. I absolutely love it. It's got this retro future chrome, insane look that I absolutely love and adore. Not to mention, it's got one of the most unique Megazord transformations I think any of the Zordon era Megazords had, by far. And I just really enjoy it. So, we're not done yet. We can take Mega V2, and that basically becomes a shield when you pull out this little piece right up here. And this also actually forms a gun, if you want it to be a gun, in Zord mode. Oh yeah, we also want to take the wings and close them in. My arm on this one, a little bit loose, so it's going to want to droop a little bit. But you get the basic idea. And you also get Mega V3, which this little handle just folds out, and when you squeeze this piece right here and this piece right here, that happens. That's scary. I wouldn't want to be on the opposite end of that. Oh yeah, so scary. Not really. It can remove all the way and form sort of a satellite. But in the show, this actually becomes the missile. And this will hit the bad guy, and it'll blow up, and it'll be deadly. And that's that. And this is his main weapon, which stores on this arm. Well, it actually stores around his hand. You may need to hold on to the slider, just to make sure it doesn't try and start retracting. And this is basically how you're going to have the Mega Voyager Megazord when you've got it all displayed. I love it to death. I think it is a ton of fun. It's very unique. It's got such a wickedly unique style to it, with the chrome and the bright blue, yellow, white colors. I really dig it, and this will continue to be one of my favorite Megazords. Now, that brings up the issue with Mega V1. Mega V1 is just an absolute mess, and I'm afraid that when I do take this apart, it's just gonna snap. Oh yeah, also, there's another thing I mentioned back here. This piece just tabs into the back of the blue rocket piece. So yeah, if you're able to find one that's in good condition, I think this is definitely worth having, not just for the fact that it's one of the early Zordon era Megazords, but it's the most unique, in my opinion, in space. I think it's one of the most unique Zordon era Megazords we've ever gotten. I just love the retro, almost hot roddy look to it, and I just think it's a ton of fun. The vehicle modes are fun, the robot mode, the Megazord mode is fun. I give this as a Megazord an A+. Anyway, that's it for this review, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Again, this is one of my favorite Megazords, so if you can find it for a good price, it's definitely worth picking up in your collection. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you really enjoyed this review. I've got a ton more Megazords to review. I review a new Megazord every Monday as part of my Megazord Monday series, and I will look forward to seeing you again next Monday. So, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. I said I would film this. I'm a little nervous. It's this piece. Oof, I don't like that. I do not like that at all. Damn it. I just can't. I can't do it. It's like pulling a tooth. I know it's gonna break. I know it's gonna break, but I need to get this. God dang it. Broke. Again, in a new spot. Time to pull out the super glue again.